Thank you both for coming here today to talk with the Sunflower about the campaign and the election. My name is Derek Blair, I'm the managing editor, and I would like to start off first here with asking you both, who are you and what is your party?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you very much, Derek, for inviting us here. We're happy to be speaking with the Sunflower. We're always happy to work with them as best we can. My name is Sean McLemore. I am running with the Students United Reality and Vision, or SURV, at the top of the ticket, and I'm running for president.
My name is Casey Donnell. I'm running for the vice president of student government with SURV, Shockers United Reality and Vision. I'm currently a junior in the English department. I serve as a senator on SGA, and last year I was student government's chairman of budget and finance.
Well, our party purpose and how we define our party, that's a very good question. I would define our party as probably some of the most non-traditional, diverse students that have ever come together to form a party for the student government. That is one of my proudest aspects of our party. And when I say non-traditional, I mean not necessarily non-traditional in the sense that I myself is a non-traditional student, but just non-traditional in the sense of the SGA makeup in the past. We have non-traditional students like myself. We have Tom Lesniak, who is the head of the, involved with the veterans here on campus. We have music, we have international students, we have engineers, and they are all a combination of, like I said, just a group of highly involved and engaged students here on campus with great leadership skills and the ability to really go out and engage the students that they represent. One thing that we really would like to see achieve is the SGA becoming a better bridge between all the different RSOs and the students and the faculty. Just basically to make sure that we are there to be able to facilitate an appropriate relationship and engaging relationship amongst all the different organizations, students, and everyone here at WSU as well too. The other thing that we really are concerned about is deferred maintenance here on campus. It's very much out of control by the rest of the state standards as well too. And we are concerned with this. We have spoken with some different people in authority positions. We have devised different possible ways to go ahead and maybe start bringing that deferred maintenance under control, setting up aspects to be able to allow that. And I like to stress this, that's no additional cost to the students. That's using the funds that we already have as well.
Yeah, a good example was a professor fell through the floor of Henry Inn. Part of their stool went through the floor because of damage to the floor. So, and that building has other maintenance issues. So Henry Inn is a great example of a building that's actively being used. It houses almost all the sculpture work done at Wichita State, which is a major component of the arts programs here, and it is suffering severely from maintenance issues.
Once again, though, I'd like to reiterate that it's not necessarily our job to decide, okay, the Barton School steps get done and this does not get done, and so on and so forth. All we're doing is trying to implement procedures and the availability of funds so that the physical plant and whoever else is involved in those processes have the funds available to them to be able to start reducing some of these deferred maintenance costs. I've been involved with SGA, student government, for about a year now. The first time I went to the SGA, I did not know what to expect. I just went to a regular meeting as just a student. I had returned to school after a bit of an absence, and I thought to myself that I needed to be involved. I wanted to be more involved in the campus this time around, rather than just kind of coming here and going home. I wanted to be more active, engaged, and involved in the campus. With such an important organization, I felt that it was important to have good, strong leadership in charge of it and running it. I have a lot of experience in doing this. I have a lot of business experience from outside school. And I just wanted the opportunity to make sure that our goals and our ideas and our platforms, which I feel are very important and beneficial to the students, are met, and that is why I decided to run.
And then what made you interested in joining on the ticket as vice president?
Yeah, I just wanted an opportunity to help give back to a university that I think has given a lot to me. The vice presidential position was very attractive because it doesn't have a lot of mandatory duties, which allows it a lot of free time to be able to work on projects on campus that I've identified as being important, as well as gives me the time and flexibility necessary to try and figure out what other projects on campus we could be working on, and to work on establishing some of the connections that we talked about.
And I really hope to bring a much stronger air of professionalism, maturity, and business sense to the SGA, as well as a better outreach to the students. I've said before that in the past, the SGA's policy is we have an open door policy. You guys just come see us and we'll talk to you. And I disagree with that in the sense that we shouldn't be waiting for students to come talk to us. It is one of our strongest goals to make sure that we are actively engaging the students and we are going out there.
The way that the student fees budget has been allocated in the past has created inconsistencies even for students. Oftentimes we've seen feast or famine years where either the student government body has spent a significant and has had to have a major increase, either because in the past that organization and body had been unwilling to give necessary incremental increases. We would like to offer some consistency to that. We understand that there are going to be some increases because of insurance costs and inflation, but we would not like to see any major spending increases at this time. I would like to start by saying that I don't think it was SGA that caused that account to be closed. It was possible, if they wanted to continue to fund student organizations, but this year's executive leadership chose not to. That is not something under any circumstance that I would imagine us doing. The most important function served by SGA is its ability to support and empower student organizations. I don't think that we would cut off the ability of student organizations to apply for our funding. The way that I would like to see our books balanced is to review the amount of money that was distributed this year and compare it to the amount of money that was distributed last year, and begin to establish a general trend to determine how much percentage-wise funding increases on a yearly basis, and then use that to set the standard for how much money SGA asks for those accounts.
Would that involve dipping into reserves if necessary for student organizations?
If student organizations actively needed and were applying for funds, but the original allocation was exhausted, yes.
Transparency really is a complete and utter importance to us. We're absolutely fine with this. We do not want any secrecy, to the point where we've actually talked about having live feeds for the SGA meetings, working in conjunction with the Sunflower to do whatever we can to make sure that we have the most comprehensive and transparent SGA possible. I want anyone and everybody to be as completely involved with the student government as possible. I fully believe, because as I said earlier, it's such an important part of the student body that unfortunately many students either don't know about or have an unfortunate an interest in that. I really want to change that. The best possible way to do that is with constant communication and transparency. If somebody comes up to me and next year and says, Sean, you're overloading us with information, and then I'm happy with that, so to speak, because I know that at least that information is getting out, and we're able to make sure that everyone has multiple paths to access that information. There's, especially at the state level, there's a lot of decisions that are made regarding students here. I think it's important to be actively engaged in that and aware of what is going on, so that if measures are being considered that will affect us here on campus, we can make sure that we have ways to voice our concerns, opinions, or kudos for that matter, of anything that happens to be happening up in Topeka that will affect us. It's important to have a good relationship with our legislators, and so therefore, I think it's very important to maintain that.
There's still uncertainty as to what the law will look like when it's put into place. But at this time, we would support the Kansas Board of Regents' position on that issue, and without consulting our neighboring institutions and members of Kansas Board of Regents, we can't make a formal statement. But SGA this year voted to not support guns on campus, and we don't foresee ourselves supporting actively the law in place.
One thing that I would like to see is, first and foremost, I'm not in favor at this time of a smoking ban on campus, complete and utter ban. What I personally would like to see, and if we had actually started addressing this sooner, a resolution that I was planning on bringing to the Senate was the ability and possible funding of creating areas for smokers to be able to go to smoke. And I'm not just talking about like just drawing a line and saying you guys have to be on this side of the line. I'm talking about nice, in other jobs that I've had, what have been referred to as smoke shacks, where smokers had the ability to walk outside. They could walk into this enclosed area, which off the top of my head would somewhat resemble perhaps like the bus stations that we had. And they would be able to sit down, possibly smoke, enjoy themselves. If it's raining, if it's windy, if it's snowing, if it's hailing, whatever, they would still be insulated against any sort of weather elements. And the nice thing about that is it actually gives a little bit more freedom to the smokers to be able to enjoy their cigarettes. And at the same time, the smoke is out of the way of non-smokers as well too, so they're not bothered by that smoke. You'd also be able to contain the cigarette butts most likely in that general area. You obviously have a trash can or something in there, an ashtray, so it would be able to contain the cigarettes a little bit more easily. And what I also envision is maybe getting with the art department as well too, or some other entities here on campus, and really making these a very nice part of the campus where they can be designed so they're kind of integrated into the campus instead of just some displaced smoke shack over here in the corner as well too. Almost, when we have such great artwork on campus, why not create a little bit more artwork, improve our reputation as far as that goes, give something to the smokers where they can go, and also give something to the non-smokers where they don't have to be bothered by the cigarette smoke anymore if they want to. Instead of just a campus-wide ban on smoking, it is my opinion that other than the funding, the working with the RSOs, here on campus is the second most, shall we say, or equally as important function of SGA. Student involvement, therefore, is a very high priority on our list. As we said before, we want to work as not just a funding of it, but be able to facilitate a bridge to make sure that, the different RSOs can better interact with each other, help the student involvement engage in that as well too. As a current programming chair, try to work as closely as I can with student involvement and with the SAC. I would hope to continue that. I meet regularly with them, and we always have a good working relationship. And I can expect to continue that because student involvement is, as well as with the student government, is one of the most influential organizations here on campus, and those two organizations need to have a good, solid working relationship in order to better serve the students here on campus.
All right. Well, that's all of our questions. We appreciate you coming here today and giving us some of your time to talk. Thank you both, gentlemen. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.